Mu Qing Luan by the side raised her ears when she heard Feng Zunjie's words. She was also very curious about Xiaoyan's background. Although Feng Zunjie had many friends, she didn't know of a friend whom he would be so concerned about after all these years. Xiaoyan tightly clenched his fist. A fierce glint vaguely appeared in his eyes. A moment later he suppressed the fluctuating emotion within his heart. He inhaled a deep breath of air as he slowly said, "Old Feng should also be aware of the matter about teacher back then, right? He was not with me when something happened to him. By the time I discovered something amiss, Han Feng had already announced to the public that the old fellow had suffered a backlash when he was refining a pill and ended up self-destructing. I will naturally never believe such words, and I interrogated Han Feng quite a number of times about this. However, this fellow is extremely cunning, and I failed to learn anything through my questioning. After this continued a couple of times, he also disappeared from the Central Plains region. Only at that time did I vaguely sense the disappearance of that old fellow was related to him. However, I am unable to find any information about Han Feng after searching the Central Plains for so many years." Feng Zunjie's eyes stared intently at Xiaoyan as he spoke with a deep voice. Xiaoyan sighed softly and whispered, "Teacher was indeed harmed by Han Feng back then." Boom! Feng Zunjie's expression almost instantly turned dark, chilly when Xiaoyan's words sounded. A dense killing intent surged out of his body, causing the temperature of this place to significantly drop. This bastard, Yao Chen, had raised him after he was abandoned as a baby and had taught him all that he knew, yet he dared to betray his teacher? Has his conscience really been eaten by a dog? Back then, the old me should have killed this bastard with a slap. A fury surged onto Feng Zunjie's face as he cried out. Mu Qing Luan cowered her neck when she saw Feng Zunjie this furious. Feng Zunjie was usually light and carefree. Seldom would he lose himself in such a manner. Yao Chen? Could he be that life-and-death good friend of teacher, the pavilion chief of the Falling Star Pavilion that has never shown himself, Yao Chen, Yao Zunjie? Mu Qing Luan muttered this name in her mouth before she immediately seemed to have recalled something. Her pretty eyes were stunned as she looked at Xiaoyan and involuntarily cried out. Pavilion chief? Xiaoyan was startled when he heard this. He was unaware that Yao Lao had been pavilion chief. The Falling Star Pavilion was founded by Yao Chen and me back then. However, he doesn't like these matters and the place was more or less managed by me. Although he has been missing during these years, the position of pavilion chief still remains because I know that with the old fellow's ability, he would not die so easily. Feng Zunjie waved his hand as he explained. Xiaoyan slightly nodded. It was unexpected that teacher would be the pavilion chief of the Falling Star Pavilion in name. In that case, was he not considered a member of the Falling Star Pavilion? Let's not talk about this for now. Once I return, I will issue a wanted order. I think that the bastard Han Feng is still alive. If he lands in my hands, I will definitely let him suffer a fate where he cannot even beg to die. Feng Zunjie spoke in a dark manner. It seemed that Han Feng had completely infuriated him. If it's a wanted order, there is probably no need. Xiaoyan shook his head. He flicked his finger and a jade bottle appeared from his storage ring. His finger rubbed over the mouth of the bottle as an illusionary spiritual body was hurriedly released. Xiaoyan, just what will it take for you to let me off? Han Feng's soul roared in a flustered and exasperated manner after escaping the bottle. However, his roar had yet to finish when it came to a sudden halt. A frightened expression that was difficult to hide appeared on his face. Han Feng. Feng Zunjie's eyes were dense as he looked at Han Feng's soul in front of him. Two words that contained a chilly killing intent were slowly emitted between his teeth. Feng Zunjie. Han Feng's eyes were dull as he looked at Feng Zunjie in front of him. An instant later he immediately let out a shocked scream and hurriedly turned to flee. Feng Zunjie's eyes were ice cold. His fingers were curled into claws as he sucked at Han Feng. A frightening suction forcefully pulled Han Feng back. After which, it grabbed Han Feng's neck like an eagle claw would grab a small animal. That usually benign-looking, old face had become unusually frightening at this moment. Bastard, you dared attack your teacher? If not for Yao Chen, you would have been swallowed by a wild stray. Beast, you aren't even worthy of being a pig or a dog. Han Feng finally became afraid as he looked at Feng Zunjie's eyes, which contained a dense killing intent that caused one to freeze over. He was also a little afraid of Feng Zunjie in his heart. Immediately, he hurriedly cried out, "Don't kill me. This has nothing to do with me. I was also forced by those people from the Hall of Souls." Hall of Souls? Feng Zunjie's expression changed when he heard this name. Old Feng, the Hall of Souls seemed to be after Teacher's spiritual strength. Now, Teacher has already fallen into their hands. Xiao Yan spoke in a low and deep voice. It is really related to those bastards. Feng Zunjie grit his teeth as he yelled. During his investigations over these years, he had also vaguely discovered something about the Hall of Souls. However, he had not expected the ones who had struck at Yao Chen back to be these fellows, who lingered around without disappearing. This bastard cannot be allowed to live. A killing intent flashed across his eyes as he stared at Han Feng icily. Even if it was the Hall of Souls who wanted to strike Yao Chen, it would be extremely difficult for them to do so. After all, Yao Chen had a great number of friends. Quite a number of experts from the older generation back then had quite a good relationship with him. With his identity as an alchemist, his ability to summon help with just a wave of his hand was something that would cause even the Hall of Souls would have to think twice despite their strength. However, Yao Chen had eventually disappeared in an abrupt manner. Clearly, this was because a traitor had betrayed him, resulting in him lacking the time to gather helpers. Who else could this traitor be other than this bastard Han Feng? Old Feng, wait. We still need Han Feng to guide us in order for us to find the branch hall where Yao Lao is being imprisoned. It is not the right time to kill him. Xiao Yan hurriedly spoke when he saw this situation. It is likely that the Hall of Souls does not only want the old fellow's soul. Perhaps, they attach a greater value on his ability to refine pills. Back then, I became vaguely aware that the Hall of Souls seemed to be quietly acting on a grand plan. This plan required quite a number of outstanding alchemists. During that big fight at the ancient mansion, which had turned the entire Central Plains into an uproar, Yao Chen and I had exchanged blows with the Hall of Souls. It is likely that he had caught their eye at that time. Feng Zunjie nodded, mused for a moment, and suddenly made a guess. Ancient mansion? Xiao Yan was stunned when he heard this. It is already an extremely old story. That mansion was passed down from the ancient times. Back then, it attracted over half of the experts of the Central Plains who were at the Dozong class and above. However, the treasures inside were indeed shocking. The qi method you practice now was obtained by Yao Chen from that place back then. Feng Zunjie sighed. Xiao Yan was once again startled. He involuntarily inhaled a gentle breath. Flame mantra was actually something that was obtained from that ancient mansion. Where is that old fellow being imprisoned right now? Feng Zunjie glanced icily at Han Feng before demanding. The western regions of the Central Plains underworld city. There is a branch hall of the Hall of Souls there. Yao Chen is being imprisoned there. Han Feng hesitated for a moment before speaking. Underworld city, huh? It is unexpected that there is a branch hall of the Hall of Souls there. Feng Zunjie frowned and asked once again. How many honorable elders, Dozun, are there in that branch? 1. Han Feng's eyes quietly flickered as he softly replied. Do you really think that this venerable self, Dozun, does not have any understanding of the Hall of Souls? Feng Zunjie laughed coldly when he heard this. A branch of the Hall of Souls would at least have a chief and a deputy regardless of how low level it is. They are at the honorable elder level. Moreover, that place is one where someone as important as Yao Chen is imprisoned. One honorable elder. Looks like your evil thoughts have yet to be extinguished. Han Feng's body trembled slightly when he heard Feng Zunjie's words. The expression of Xiao Yan by the side had also slowly turned dark and solemn. Damn it, he had nearly been tricked by this bastard. 2 honorable elders. This was not a matter of summing 2 up. A lineup consisting of 2 Dozun class experts would have the ability to even wash some top-tier factions in the Central Plains in blood. If he had not found Feng Zunjie and ended up foolishly leading people to Underworld City, it was likely that he would have fallen into their hands. Store him away. He might be useful in the future. Feng Zunjie's eyes were dense as he glanced at Han Feng, who was involuntarily trembling. However, he simply laughed and tossed Han Feng to Xiao Yan. Xiao Yan nodded his head with a cold smile after receiving Han Feng's soul. He stuffed him back into the jade bottle. With a random flick of his finger, a wisp of invisible flame rushed in, and a sharp miserable cry once again sounded. Xiao Yan's finger rubbed the mouth of the bottle and isolated the miserable cry. After which, he returned it to his storage ring. He would wait and see if this fellow could survive being burned by the fallen heart flame. When dealing with such scum, he would not allow them to peacefully die. Old Feng, what should we do now? Xiao Yan hesitated for a moment and asked. We cannot be reckless when dealing with this matter, and we cannot allow any information to be leaked. Otherwise, once the Hall of Souls transfers Yao Chen, it will be even more difficult for us to find him. You should wait quietly for some time. I will dispatch someone to head to Underworld City to investigate. If we delay for too long. Xiao Yan spoke in a somewhat worried manner. Relax, there are not many people who possess pill refining skills that can be compared with Yao Chen in the Central Plains. The Hall of Souls will not easily hurt him. Feng Zunjie spoke in a calm manner. Xiao Yan hesitated for a moment after hearing this, but he could only nod his head. The Hall of Souls was too powerful. They really could not afford to alert them. I will return to the Falling Star Pavilion next. After which, I will begin investigating the Hall of Souls. What about you? Feng Zunjie's eyes looked at Xiao Yan as he asked. Xiao Yan mused for a moment before saying, I wish to head to the middle regions of the Central Plains region. There is still a year or so left until the Pill Tower's Pill Gathering. I wish to participate. The Pill Gathering, huh? Feng Zunjie was startled when he heard this. He immediately smiled and said, this is also not bad. Back then, that old fellow Yao Chen managed to get a champion spot in that Pill Gathering. He was really glorious. Being his disciple, you must naturally not diminish his reputation. Moreover, according to what I know, the top 10 in this Pill Gathering appear to be able to obtain the right to subdue the 3,000 burning flames. Perhaps this possesses a fatal attraction to you.